welding coach Joe Brown, aka Black Phoenix, checking in, aka Mr. Hog on himself, the richest welder, checking in. This rising family, I just wanted to talk to you about the FWP program, the Fabrication Welding Program, or Fab Welding Program, short for fabrication. Um, it equals workforce ready welders, which is to me is the complete difference of what I have been seeing in my 20 years being inside of the welding community. Like, this program, in my personal opinion, is going to be more tailored to what the manufacturers and the construction companies actually need. A lot of times they're producing numbers, but they're not giving them the right skill set with that time. Because to me, if a person double down on their time, you got plenty of time to learn some basic blueprints, some basic sharp drawings, uh, knowing how to work around the shop. Like, I think that where a lot of schools are failing at, they're not trying to imitate what's actually going on in the real world market. Like, they're just taking them through like they'll have them just go through a stick welding class to just learn how to do 60, 10, 70, 18s in four positions, and then move them on to something else. And actually, you need to know more than just that to get a job. You know, a lot of companies frown on students not knowing the basic um, concepts of the job, not just welding alone. You know what I mean? Like, to me, welding is going to be one of the last things you do when you're laying out, when you're fitting, when you on construction. A lot of times you're dragging out material, you're rigging stuff, you're cleaning job sites. Like, it's a lot of stuff you're doing, and then you go up and start welding in plates, tacking in sheets or whatever. You know what I mean? If you're on construction. So the FWP program is going to be literally tailored for the construction industry in the local areas. So the goal is to start the first one in Little Rock, and it's going to be based at the Arkansas Baptist College on their property. And our goal is to start up a program that can help the need of the area, like for those who are sponsors, those who are supporters of the program. We want to tailor it to them. So if they have a specific WPS that they're operating in, if they're working with cranes daily, if they're reading sharp drawings, if they're changing different wires, if they're using various thicknesses, if they're using sheet metal, anything. And when I say sheet metal, I'm literally meaning quarter-inch on down, because quarter-inch is technically sheet steel, and any 3/8 or more would be considered steel. So normally a quarter-inch down is, ornamental furniture, things of that nature, signs. There's so much you can do with the welding and duct work. There's so many things you can do under a quarter-inch, and then you got the heavy stuff. So we want to target the need for the heavy steel fabrication with the flux core welding, and, in all positions, and especially learning how to lay out and use the crane. Also, we want to target the MIG welding. To me, those two are going to be the first targets first, because there are both processes that are easier to learn, and it doesn't take a lot to become an expert in those processes, in the MIG welding process and the flux core. And which is, just for those who don't know, MIG and flux core, you're using the same gun, it's just a different wire, a different gas. Depending on the company, it's going to be CO2 or 75-25. If they're running something real hot, they might have a 90-10. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on what they're doing. But normally, You're going to see 100% in a lot of shots because it's more fast paced. It don't look as pretty as 75-25, but it still gets the job done with great penetration. So the goal is with the program to me, there's a big need, and we overshadow the wire welding process, especially when you are connecting it with fabrication and blueprint reading because you can build so many things like from staircases to um, gates to bridges to girders. You know what I mean? Like there's so much you can do with the fabrication process using the wire that it's more economical now. You know, the stick welding process is always going to be God when you're in the construction, 70-18. But now they're using a lot of flux core because it's more economical. Yes, some jobs will train you. Salute, salute, Grand Rising. Thanks for checking in. Some jobs will train you, and that's what they're trying to do now. They're willing to train people because they're knowing it's hard to get the people that they need. You know, like coming out of school. And this is what I want to do with this program, and that's why I'm not calling this a school. It's a program because our goal is to equip people to learn how to do the specific jobs in the area. So if we have a sponsor and they need certain type of welders, we want to be able to help them produce a steady pipeline flow and people to go from 6 weeks to 16 weeks to go straight into employment. And and also offering some free scholarships, but this are only to people who qualify. And we're most definitely going to be scanning people. We're not just trying to we ain't giving nothing away. You got to earn everything. So this is not about giving something away for free. We do want to help the kids. We're creating opportunities so that way the kids can have something and it's actually going to help them coming out of high school. um, a veteran changing careers, regrouping, coming out of prison. If you're old enough, if you're able to get on these jobs, we want to help you get into it if you're able. But we're not trying to pull nobody's teeth. We're not trying to convince someone. We're not trying to uh, go grab all this money that's out in the streets because they giving it away and we just want to throw people in the program. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to build character. We want to have people that's going to leave the school and go straight into employment. And those who are getting these scholarships, you have to pay them back. You have to at least work on the job for 6 months, which most people want to work on the job for a year or three to, honestly, 3 to 4 years to become a good journeyman, to really get that trade down. And then if you're making good money, it's a good company, and you know you in the area, why try to move around? You know what I mean? So we need to longevity and get some skin in the game, so to speak. So after you get out of school, if you want to become a journeyman in the field, you at least want to put 3 to 4 years in. You can always move around in the company, but you want to come in willing to, stay to see that investment. Because you think if you're spending $5,000 to go to school for 6 weeks, because this program is going to be a little over 5,000 for 6 weeks, or if it's going to be broke down into 16 weeks. After that time, you're able to make between, no less than 40 up to 60,000 or more your first year. And it all depends because everybody do things different. I done seen students come in and get it and go. Some struggle, but if a person want it and they're physically able, because you think a lot of these companies, fam, they're doing 8, 10, 12 hour shifts. They're burning. If you can't do it because of a physical condition, that's understandable. But these companies is not going to. They have no tolerance for that. You know what I mean? So they need people who can actually come in and do the job, and you want to be compensated for it. They're not to be able to do these 8, 10, and 12 hour shifts. Salute, salute. Thanks for checking in. The certifications actually go. So when it comes to getting certified, let me clear that up. Salute, salute. Your certifications last about 6 months. After 6 months, if you haven't been using them or if you have been using them, you have to pay to keep them up, kind of like a driver's license, but only with a shorter lifespan. Every 6 months, you're spending $30, 25, 30, $40 to keep your certifications updated. And let me say this, if you're going to school, stop thinking certifications. Start thinking qualifications. I want to be qualified. I'm not trying to be certified because each company you go to, fam, is going to certify you with their company. So if you're with a specific company and they're doing a certain thing, they're going to test you and certify you. So if I even gave you a paper and you got certified, they'll look at it, oh, okay, all right, go over here in the booth and let me see what you got. That's the first thing they're gonna do, fam, because they don't really care about your certifications coming from somewhere else, unless you a business owner or you doing some type of traveling construction. Sometimes they do, but it all depends too, because a lot of companies like for people to be certified under them. So having a piece of paper isn't going to help you. Just clear that up. You want to be qualified. You want to know how to do everything, so no matter where you go in the country, you can pass that welding test. You want to know how to do it like you know how to write your name. And that is going to create an opportunity no matter where you at in the country, you can be able to get some money. And that's what we want to do with the FWP program. Literally help people learn the trade, get qualified. I'm not just trying to teach you to run a bead. I want you to be able to fabricate. I want you to know why this bead need to be here, why it need to be this size, why you need to know. Because you need to know you don't need to put a real big weld down here, this material, certain thickness. You need to know when to push it, when to drag it. You can do both with certain processes. Certain processes you got to drag it the whole time, like flux core with gas door shield. So you need to know the difference on what you're doing. You need to know how to lay out. You need to know if you're cutting something, you can't cut it right on the line. If you cut it right on the line, you're not giving it the allowance for the blade thickness. And it's going to make your material shorter every time, especially if you're cutting a lot of pieces. You're going to end up being a quarter, 3 inch. But tell her how long you going, you steady losing an eighth inch. So you got to keep those things in mind on how to cutting in front of the line. You know, learning getting things accurate or staying within an eighth inch or 16 tolerance. You know what I mean? I didn't see tolerance of 30 seconds or smaller than that. You know what I mean? So those are things you need to learn, and how to present yourself on a job site, how to do your resume, how to know that your resume is literally a on paper interview of you. You just don't want to say, I went to this job, and that job. Introduce yourself to these people, fam. They ain't never met you before. And if I'm reading a piece of paper and I never seen you before, how can I feel like I'm talking to you? That's a good resume. You're not only showing what you did, you're showing what you was doing while you was there. That's a good tip that someone who's been reading resumes and hiring people for over 30 years, she gave me this tip and she said that you want to introduce yourself. You want to be able to not only just say you was on this job, what was you doing? Tell me something about you. How have you elevated? Let me see some of your personality. Show you something that's going to take you above the hump. And that's what we're going to teach, fam. We're going to teach some life skills because we need more than just learning how to weld, learning how to get a job. Let's just be realistic. We need some life skills. We need some mentorship on how to deal with everyday issues. At the college, at the Arkansas Baptist College, they just installed a a new, I ain't gonna say new, but a boxing ring in an area where they're gonna start um, not just teaching them, but allowing students to vent and learning how to deal with their issues on a different standpoint. You ain't got to grab a gun. Let's go put these gloves on. Let's learn. You want to fight? Let's learn how to box. You got an issue? Put the gloves on and let's leave it in the ring. There's many ways to solve issues other than picking up guns and killing ourselves in these streets. We having a big epidemic right now with these kids and these guns. Um, and we know where they coming from. They ain't just, it's like they falling out the sky. They everywhere. So they making it real easy for them to get them, and they're locking our babies up forever. Parents are burying kids, and that's never a good thing. And I remember me being young, hearing, my mother say, I never want to bury my child. And I was moving fast at one time where I could have been that child that could have been buried. So, when we talk about giving back and we talk about really helping someone, we got to really go further than just giving them a degree, giving them trades. We got to show them how to live. We got to give them structure. We got to give them purpose. So this goes back to Booker T. Washington concept when he just didn't want to just start a college, but he wanted to do trades as well so we can actually build communities. So, the goal with the five welding program is to do more than just teach a person how to weld and give them some financial stability, but we also want to help teach them culture, teach them skills, teach them life skills because we need to know how to maintain out here. And also, fam, we have to recognize that we have been through a lot of trauma. So we have to have counseling. So, there's going to be a big support group for not just males and females, where we're actually going to, address some issues, have some time where we actually going over some one-on-ones with a therapist because everybody got different issues and it's not going to be where it's going to be an open thing, but where a person can go in and go talk to someone just to because I know one thing about when you're in the booth, it's going to be hard to do well and perform a good weld if your mind is troubled, if you got a lot on your mind, if you're confused, if you're stressed, if you got a lot of issues at home. I understand all of that. So, being a mentor, we have to literally pay attention to that and be willing to help these kids with that. Um, and statistically, I want to say this from the ages of 12 through 24, they say that a black male, an African American, a black Native American will be dead in prison or addicted to a harmful drug. So the Obama Foundation is actually addressing that issue as well, where they're literally going into inner cities and they're helping that age. They're mentoring them, they're giving them hope, they're teaching them skills. And that's what we want to do in the Little Rock area. We want to address some of those areas. Our goal is to help anyone who want the help. Let's be clear. We're willing to help anyone because I believe that we're all God's people. I want to help anyone, but we got to address the need. To those who look like me, we are behind and we really, really need some help. So when it comes to helping these babies, we'll do whatever we have to do. So that's why I stated from 18 to 24 because normally that's getting out of high school. And normally, I think a job allow you to get on about 17 now. And in Arkansas, they changed the law where a person can actually get a job without their parent permission at 16, I believe. But we're going to say 18 to 24 because normally getting out of high school, we can really get you situated between that time. And you think if you getting out of high school at 18, you getting a welding career, learning how to do fabrication, you moving up in the company, you learning different things in the company. Always never get to the point where you don't want to learn, fam. We go to school and they have taught us to hurry up and be done and want to finish school and finish college. But you should always be on the quest to learn, always to do better because the more you know, the more you grow. The more you feel, the more peace you have, the more income you can make, the more knowledge. So never get to the point where you say, "Oh, I got enough." Always be willing to learn. And learning can be an uncomfortable thing when you have never done it. When you have issues probably learning certain things, it can be done, fam. We all do different things differently. And I just want to say for the record, we all can get it. That's why I like to meet people where they are. I like to interview people. I like to see where they at. And that way I can meet them where they are at in life. And I can help associate welding to that area in their life and it can help them grasp it quicker. You know what I mean? So it's always something that a person enjoy doing that I can relate to the welding trade to help them learn faster. And then also the technique and the process of being hands-on with every student. We're going to make sure in the beginning, just like riding a bike, when we was teaching our kids how to ride a bike, we just didn't throw them on there. Most we'll guide them a little bit. Once they get the process down, then we step back and sit in the yard or sit on the porch and tell them, hey, y'all slow down. Hey, don't be doing that. They going, hey, slow down, you're going too fast. Then we sit back and just talk stuff and give them orders, you know what I mean? But first, we have to be hands-on. We have to be loving. We have to make sure that they're comfortable, that they're not afraid, especially when it comes to things like learning something where it can hurt you. You got sparks, you got flames, etc. You know what I mean? It's just like teaching your kids. So, to me, you have to have a passion for it. That's why we want the instructors, the people that's going to be involved, to have a passion for what we're doing. It's not like I say, we know it takes money to make money. We know we're trying to get ourselves in position where we don't need anyone, but we're not going to cut someone off or do someone bad for finances. There's plenty of money out here, you know, but there's not, but there is a great lack of talent. So we want to bring more talent, fam. So for those who want to learn more about the program, like I say, just stay in tune. This Rising, I just wanted to go live. Was up getting a little coffee, and I was just thinking about the encounter of going down and talking to the board, getting that first stage approved, where we can start with the process of we got the containers already. I'm putting the containers there, coming up with the plan on how we're going to line it out, lay out the booths, etc., getting the metal, all of that. But we got the first stage started where they're accepting it. And also, I want to give an update. They're going to start back introducing the GED program into the college in Little Rock too, the Arkansas Baptist College. So those who don't have a GED, you can enter this program and you can get a GED. And then after you get a GED, you can get a trade. And we're gonna start off with welding, but our goal is to introduce the 5 trades, which is welding, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and carpentry. We want to introduce all of those because we can build a community with those. You can go anywhere you want to and relocate and make good money if you got one of those solid trades. And if we all come together, we can hit harder with those. We got a fist, fam. We can do something. We can stand up. We can build some money up. We can build a community. Literally, we can build our own hospitals, our own daycares. We can build our own business structures. We can have our own homes, our own roads. You know what I mean? So there's so much you can do, and there's a lot of inner cities that there's a lot of real estate that's being took away from people that literally should utilize these opportunities, but they don't know nothing about them. And that's why I say welding is freedom, because you can learn how to use your welding money and start purchasing some real estate, putting $100 to a side when you get paid, and purchase you with some land that was $1,000, $1,500, $500 land, and do you some investments and start finding out what you can do. Like, we got to learn financial literacy, and that's something else that we are introducing into the 5 welding program. Financial literacy, fam. Entrepreneurship. Everybody don't want to be it, but everybody want a side hustle. I don't know nobody right now that wouldn't say they'd take a second job if it was making money and they really didn't have to work hard to do it. They'd be like, oh man, sign me up. You tell me I can work this job and still make that money. Oh man, you'll be signed up. So we need to learn how to do that as well. And that is what I want to introduce. And to me, that's what makes this program valuable, because we're leading by example. Like I say, right now I got several things going on, and this approval was just a small win, not just for me, but win for the community as well, because we're going to introduce something that's going to really help the inner city. There's a lot going on in Little Rock, North Little Rock, surrounding areas, Conway, all those little town, Pine Bluff. We want to be able to make a hub where a person can literally come and say, hey, this is a beacon of hope. You can come and do this. A lot of people don't know about welding, the financial literacy that's in it. They just think about just welding in the hood. It's hard work or it's hot outside, but they don't know the opportunities and what you can do with it. A lot of people are knocking before they get into it, because the first thing they say, man, it's hot. Man, you outside. Man, you burning. Man, you might get on fire. I done heard so much with it. People will knock one of their children from doing it because of, just things they have heard that's not true. So we want to break a lot of those myths as well. Salute, salute. I appreciate the love. Thanks for checking in. Like I say, that's the goal, fam. The goal is really um, to really give some jewels to really help people win. And I also want y'all to share the channel, share the videos that can really help. Also, the daily blogs I try to do. through the week. I try to do, I've been doing like one a day. I try to do one a day, and I've been trying to keep it up. But it's been working, but it has been rough trying to get it doing and then working with my personal life. But it's been going, I want to stay consistent on it, on just having a different approach at it. And also, I want to say, coming soon, the ebook, The Rich Welder, Mastering Skills and Money in the Trade, is coming soon. This ebook is $47, and the goal with this ebook is to teach you how to make money as an entrepreneur, as a side hustle, to give you the motivation and the focus and how to um, think outside the box and how to use what you may already have. A lot of times, I have learned something, fam, that they say a cat chases his tail, right? But if he slow down, he realizes the tail is with him all the time. And sometimes we can have everything we need. We just don't know how to use it, fam. And that's what this channel is about. That's what the FWP program is about teaching people how to use things. Welding is just a tool, fam. Muscle memory. But we have to learn how to utilize our mind as far as to master learning something new, getting comfortable, seeing new ways to do it. Like that we're not trying to keep anybody in the box at all, you know. So, the goal is, like I say, is to start this program in Little Rock and to start a fifth community. When I say fifth community, that means teaching all of those trades that I once just talked about: welding, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, carpentry. We want to be able to teach all of those because if the kids can get that and we can have that, we can have someone that that literally accomplished all of those things. We can come together and keep a tight knit, and we can duplicate what we're doing in Little Rock. So the goal is to get it going, and we can go to another city and we can do the same thing, and we can help another city do the same thing. So the goal is not to just get it up. We want to duplicate the process and duplicate the process in the areas that need it the most. So the FWP program, like I say, is not a school. This program, this welding program, is going to be designed to help the need of the industrial and areas and construction, the needs of the inner area. And a lot of cities that's growing, they need workers that can be able to scale. Don't nobody just want to do one thing. And that's one thing that I love about a lot of these innovative cities now. In Little Rock is one of them. Is they big on entrepreneurship. That a lot of these companies is now being open. We still have some of the companies that have old ways and think of old thinking, but they're seeing that it's keeping them back and they're losing money. And they're understanding they have to build people up. They have to give people opportunities, and um, you can't be closed minded and be successful in this day and age. You can't throw something and hide your hand now. The cameras everywhere. Somebody gonna see you and put you on blast. So companies are realizing what they have to do, and a lot of companies are stepping up to the plate. So I just want to say, what we are attempting to do, what we are building, what we're going to start in Little Rock. I think it's going to be an echo. I think it's just going to be echoed through other different cities, through Georgia, through Texas, through Oklahoma, through Missouri, through the Carolinas, you know what I mean? Louisiana, I think it's going to be Mississippi, Alabama. It's going to be an echo. Florida, because we want to do more than just teach a person how to um, get a skill. We want to teach them a combination of skills that can literally not only just pay their bills, but that can put them in a different um, tax bracket that can give them some financial freedom. And one thing about trades that I love, especially welding, and is that you can literally go anywhere you want to go in the country, fam, and make money. Literally, once you get the skills, you can close your eyes, spin the globe. Like that movie Coming to America. Where we going? This is where we're going, and go build. If they got an economy there, if it's booming, you don't want to go nowhere where ain't no money there. You want to go somewhere with some money. Let me say that first. And a lot of times we just got to relocate as welders. We have great opportunities, great skills, but you're not being compensated because you're in the wrong areas. Get to the right areas where there's some money at. You might have to be a little uncomfortable, but we have to learn how to move. Be willing to get uncomfortable to be comfortable. You know what I mean? And so, get into a bigger area, get into a bigger cash flow spot where there's more opportunities can open up the door for you. You know what I mean? So I don't know where you at in the country, but you want to get somewhere where there's some money at. Um, as long as it's a city and some money, something going on, 9 times out of 10 you'll be all right. There's a lot of mom and pop companies. There's a lot of small companies. There's a lot of companies you can get on as well as fabricators that just getting started in Little Rock. You can build with them. Just getting started in Arkansas, you can build with them throughout the country. So you just have to keep an open mind, be willing to network, and get the skill set. You got to start somewhere, fam. We can't reinvent the wheel. We know it's been rolling for a while now, so we can't go back and reinvent the wheel. But what we can do, we can add some bling to the wheel. You know what they doing? They went from, we went from 13s. We at 30 something now. You know what I mean? The game is real now. Salute, salute. So, there's so much we can do, fam. So this Rising, I just wanted to go live and talk about the WP program, the fabrication welding program that's going to be established in Little Rock, Arkansas, on the Arkansas Baptist College ground. So for those who are familiar with that, you know where it's located on MLK. And like I say, our goal is to have a sponsorship program and also where a person can be able to purchase the slots. But we are going to interview people. We're not just trying to throw people in spots and fill people up. We're trying to create opportunities. We don't want to just say we graduated 100 people and only 5 people got employment. No, we're not trying to do none of that. We want to graduate 100. We want to have 100 people working. That's how I feel. 100 people living better lives. 100 people eating better meals. You know what I'm saying? Getting some better situations for themselves. So that's the goal, fam. So if you want to support the program, uh, feel free. Anyone can email me to get more information about this program. You can email me at yourweldingcoach@gmail.com or joe@yourweldingcoach@gmail.com or yourweldingcoach@gmail. I own both of those. You can just hit me up on those if you have any questions, want to get into the program, want to learn more about it. For those who want to give donations, you can do all of that. You can do it on PayPal, Your Welding Coach. You can do it on Cashapp, Your Welding Coach. Whatever you got, you feel free to donate the cause. And like I say, we're going to be building up the containers. We're going to start off with at least 5 units first, as far as 5 containers and 5 welders first. The goal is we're not going to build it no more than 20 units because, it's not about having 40 classrooms. To me, it's about being able to produce certified, qualified people on a timely basis. And we want to make sure that we get the right individuals. So we're probably never going to be bigger than 20 booths, but we're going to start off with 5 and work our way up. So for those who want to be along for the journey, we appreciate the love, the support, the donations, the prayers, all the above, fam. We appreciate it. I appreciate everybody for checking in with me this rising. Like I say, I'm just up drinking a little coffee, and I just wanted to address those issues and talk about that some for those who want to know some things about it. Also, you can call and text the business line to get more information. 501 400 5806 5806. That's 501 400 5806 to learn more about the program. Like I say, the goal is to really focus on those coming out of high school, 18 through 24. We're actually taking other ages so you still can get in it. We're not literally like cutting the age off, but we want to make it where a person can get these jobs. So we want to make you where you physically can work. We want people who can literally put some time in to change their lives. So if there's something you want to do, thinking welding for a career path for you that can get you some financial freedom, hey, stay in tune, stay in tune. Be learning more about what they got going on at the Arkansas Baptist College in Little Rock. Like I say, they're really starting to turn things around. We're really trying to save the college, save the concept, and really help people win. Like not just get higher education, but we got to get education to get higher. We got to start somewhere to get up here. So we're willing to get you from here to bring you up here in stages. But we're not trying to force no one. You got to want it. And everybody I have ever met that wanted something and that they put the work in, they got it, fam. So y'all be blessed, continues to prosper. And like I say, coming soon, coming soon, coming soon. FWP, the Fabrication Welding Program, a 5 welding program. And for those who want to get some of my gear, y'all check it out on Amazon Prime. I got the t-shirts, the hoodies. I know it's going to be summertime. It is summertime. So check out some hoodies, check out some tank tops and some t-shirts I got on Amazon Prime or regular Amazon. Hog on welding t-shirts, tank tops. Check out some of the gear. If you get something, make sure you screenshot it. Send me a picture. I'm on Instagram. It's Your Welding Coach. Facebook, I got a group, Your Welding Coach. Everything is Your Welding Coach. TikTok, Your Welding Coach Joe Brown on Indeed. You can follow me on all platforms. Your Welding Coach. Y'all be blessed. Continues to prosper, fam. Be safe. Hold on.